It's always the awkward intro. So that was a little celebration cartwheel that I did because I'm celebrating my 91st day without booze, which may not seem like a big deal to some of you, and then to some of you it's like, oh my God, how could you ever go that long? So I decided to make a video about it, my regular kind of practice of denying myself and how I think it's helpful in life to do that on a regular basis. And I know it's not a completely original concept, but I just wanted to talk about why I did it, what I got from it, and how I think it's helpful. And how it's unoriginal anyway is maybe some of you did Lent, or you do Lent every year, practice Lent, and I think Ramadan's coming up. So as a spiritual practice, right, it might be familiar to you, but something that you just take on yourself and decide, hey, I'm just going to give this up. I don't think it's a normal practice, but super helpful. So, me with the booze, I decided that I didn't want to continue drinking as a habit. I like wine, but I don't need to drink wine, or do I? So for me, the best way to figure that out is to just stop. Can you stop? And then I was like, well, what are the benefits of actually stopping? So benefit one for me is to break out of autopilot. Whatever you're doing in life, you know, you brush your teeth in the same order, you wake up, you go to the bathroom, everything is just kind of following the same road to go to work, and you're like a robot. So once you take away one of those things, which you should try that too, like try brushing your teeth at a different time and see how that throws off your whole morning, or if you even remember to do it. Anyway, yeah, if you stop something, then you break out of your autopilot, and then it just forces you to kind of go into a new way of doing or being, which is another reason to do it, is to kind of create, they say, the new neural pathways. Right? You're blazing these new neural pathways in your mind when you're forced to do something differently. You're like, well, how you're not even aware that you're doing it, but suddenly you have to figure out, how am I going to do this differently? And for me with booze, I was like, well, gee, am I using this as a coping mechanism, right? So when I stopped drinking, then I had to figure out, how am I actually feeling about this particular thing? And even while I wasn't drinking, I was paying a lot of attention to what was the driver for me when I was suddenly feeling like, oh, I want to have a drink. Was I angry? Was I sad? Was I celebrating? It was hardly ever that I was celebrating. I'm too old to be like taking one back for a celebration. Well, yeah, anyway. But it was normally for some other kind of emotion that I wasn't dealing with, that again, I had to figure out a new way to actually sit down and process that emotion instead of dulling it with alcohol. And that was another factor for me, was the health benefit. Not to mention, God, there's so many, right? You're burning out your brain cells, your calories, it screws up your skin, your liver. There were a lot of reasons for me. So if you're planning on abstaining or doing like any kind of self-denial practice, then you need to have a reason. Otherwise, you're not going to stick with it. And I did notice a difference in my weight loss and my mental health, and which is why I didn't go on the 91st day and decide, oh, I'm going to have a drink. Because honestly, I don't even feel like I miss it anymore, which is wonderful. Also saves you money. So there's a lot of benefits for that particular thing, but in general, denying yourself, I think one of the big things is showing yourself that you can do something, that you have the discipline, the dedication, the determination, and every other D word that you can think of. You kind of feel like empowered by the idea that you set a goal for yourself, and then you follow through. And once you are able to demonstrate that to yourself, it gives you more confidence. And then that confidence also somehow reflects back to you in the world, where people trust you more, because it's honestly because you trust yourself more, because you've decided that you were going to do something and you stuck to it, which many times we just say we're going to do something and we don't do it, and then we lose faith in ourselves, and that also translates out into the world, and that's a whole different topic, but it's relevant here. So really, the short of it is, everything in your life is instant access, download, messaging, like now. And I just think it's a worthwhile practice to pick the thing, video games, food, sex, smoking, whatever your thing is, and just give it a rest. See if you can give it a rest, and then you can always go back to it if you choose. But doing that will help inspire confidence in yourself and make you feel like, hey, I actually can keep my word when I say I'm going to do something. Yeah, I guess it's going to rain now that it was 80 degrees here in Colorado, which is normal. And so I better stop. I hope you get something from that. I hope it's helpful. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.